Yes, people. What's going on? Welcome to United View. Welcome to another Flex's View, man. It is the day where England play, so that's later on. Make sure you lot check that out. Owen's going to be live on the channel. But I needed it's kind of like a KG vibe, if I'm honest. KG obviously always does the 5 things deep. This is not really a 5 things deep, but it kind of is. It's 5 things Ten Hag must do. That's what I wanted my Flex's View to be today, because I was like, I'm just breaking down all what's been going on. He's got the back in, and he's got the contract extension, and you know, we've got the backroom staff now, and it hasn't been announced yet, but we've got that. You know, we've got Dan Ashworth, we've got the structure in place. It's all said and done, yeah. But it's pretty much all said and done. Now I'm on to Ten Hag, not onto him like, oh, he better do this, but I mean, I'm more pivoting to what Ten Hag must do for the season to actually be a success, or for there to be some chance of success. And look, obviously Eric Ten Hag is going to be completely aware of these things. I'm not saying like he ain't got a clue, because I think he will turn it around. But I think there's a level of priority to certain areas of the pitch and certain areas of himself that I think need to happen from a Ten Hag perspective. It's not saying that he does these things and it's all fixed. Obviously, the board and the new people in positions need to get the right players in, and recruitment needs to be good. But this is just solely on the things that I think Ten Hag either should be banging down their door to sort out, or things that he's in control of, personally, in no particular order. So the first thing for me, right, is getting the perfect partner for Kobbie Mainoo. Like, I cannot stress how important this next move in midfield is going to be. With Casemiro, we can see it's not right, okay? I don't care how he comes back, or, you know, he can fill in games and he's a leader and he can give you some big performances here and there. But overall, he is not the player we need next to Kobbie Mainoo. It's more about a profile thing. I know we're linked with Ugarte, but Eric Ten Hag really needs to decide what he's doing in this midfield. Actually, it's not even just the Kobbie Mainoo thing. Point one is just sort the midfield, but it mainly is about finding a partner for Kobbie, because Kobbie is obviously generational. He's unbelievable, and we need to build our team around him within reason, right? And he's going to be a world-class player. But we're going to be back to square one if we don't have the right environment for him to thrive in and the right partner for him to play with. And we can't be misprofiling him. We can't be basically saying that he must do everything. He must be box to box. He must be just a 10. He must be just a 6 or whatever. We need to profile him correctly. And for me, I don't want to see Kobbie needing to cover big, massive spaces, needing to be tenacious and go around putting out fires. And that's not his game. You can see that he's not got super mobility, like, you know, like Paulina can get about, or, you know, Camavinga can get about, or who else can get about? Declan Rice can get about. Amadou Onana can get about. I don't want him at Man United because I think technically he's not good enough, but he can, again, physically, he can get about. That's not really Kobbie's game. If there's massive games and massive gaping holes in midfield and Kobbie's got to plug gaps, it's not like he's got huge recovery pace and can get back in and make amazing tackles. He can read the game well, so he's in good positions to start with, but that's not his biggest game. He needs someone next to him, extremely mobile, extremely combative, but also can play, but has a willingness to say, right, I can get the ball back, win the ball back, and be aggressive, but I can also progress the ball to players who are better than me on the ball. We need someone like that. Now, Ugarte seems to fit that profile fine, but if it's not going to be Ugarte, it still must be that type of player. Edson Alvarez is a decent option at West Ham. He understands the Ten Hag way, another Ten Hag player. I'm not saying it must be him, but again, he's someone quite similar. He's aggressive, he's physical, he can get about the pitch, and also he can play a little bit. Doesn't need to be, you know, they don't need to be prime Busquets on the ball, of course not, but they have to be able to complement Kobbie in terms of covering his ground and covering the areas of the pitch that Kobbie can't do, and that can allow Kobbie to get forward. Because for me, I think he's wasted. We can't have Kobbie just basically just being wasted as just a 6, collecting the ball from the back four, you know, passing sideways, you know, setting up the play from deep like a Carrick. And no, I think Kobbie can actually play further forward personally. But he's good enough to play in a variety of positions in midfield. But if we really want to construct a team, especially one that has Bruno in it, Mason Mount, what's his role going to be? You know, we have to look at getting the best out of Kobbie Mainoo. So midfield partner. Second thing Eric Ten Hag must do. centre-back partner. I know, and I know some of these are self-explanatory because we're currently doing this. I don't want you to see this video and be like, oh, obviously, we know we're doing that. It's just me just laying out the 5 things. It's just imperative that Martinez has the perfect partner. I think, again, Martinez is another one that we don't want to miss profile. We know how good he is. We know what he's very, 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 very good at. We know what he excels in. And we know what he lacks. We know what he either needs work on or he needs the other centre-back to help him out with. And we need a commanding centre-back. Now, away from the stupid thing, what Jamie Carragher was saying, he's too short, he can't play in this league. It's nothing to do with his height. But if you are going to have someone in there who is, you know, aggressive and wants to go and engage high up and wants to try and win things instantly, the cover you're going to need is important, you know. I think if you're going to have one centre-back who is smaller and not massively dominant in the air, I think the other one does need to be dominant in the air. And again, the profile that we're going for, whether it's, I don't think it's going to be Brentford anymore, but, you know, big, way over 6 foot, can be dominant in the air. Matthias de Ligt can be dominant in the air. And also they need to have some decent cover as well. You know, not be lightning quick. I want that. Who doesn't want the next Saliba? Who doesn't want, you know, the next Van Dijk or whatever? Who doesn't want those types of players? But, you know, someone like Mickey van der Ven, who doesn't want to play with that speed at centre half? Of course you do. But they don't have to be the sharpest or the fastest in the bag, but they need to be able to cover ground and cover ground quickly and look out for Licha. So that is imperative. And now more towards Ten Hag. These are 2 things. Those are player-wise. More towards Ten Hag now. There's one more player one, but I want to go more towards Ten Hag. Tactical flexibility / stubbornness. It's the kind of 2 things, but I rolled it into one. His tactical flexibility. Now, I know that Ten Hag wants to play a system in his style, and now he's going to have his players back that hopefully, hopefully injury-free next season. It's very important that he plays his style and starts working on this style of play, which is actually my 5th one. But his flexibility actually needs to be really high, because when it doesn't work and when there's times during the game where something's not working or when something hasn't worked for a few games and you can see someone's not playing well, he has to become more flexible. We saw it towards the back end of the season and managed to get results. And that's with the squad we've got now. You know, what can't be underestimated in management, forget all systems and I need this type of player to be able to pass out from the back and I need this and I need. You also need to be able to find solutions with what you have in adversity. And if we have adversity next year, I need to see that Ten Hag can deal with it. I need to see that he's not going to be too scared or too stubborn, should I say, to change things. And a big example of that is loads of managers that come in last year. I look at Glasner, and when he come into Palace, you know, he changed things and he's getting a system and a way of playing out of players who are, like, no disrespect, like Nathaniel Klein, guys. Like, you know, Nathaniel Klein is close to retirement. How's he even still playing at the high level? The reason why he's been able to do it and still look all right within that Palace team is because of the manager, because of the setup and the flexibility. Klein might not be starting all the games next year. He's probably going to go and get the player he does actually want. But in the meantime, he may do with what he had. You know, when Newcastle had all them injuries, you know, Eddie Howe was flexible with what he was trying to do. You know, when the best teams out, you know, at Liverpool, when they have players out and stuff like that, Jurgen Klopp has been flexible. I know he's gone now, but it's there, you know. So I want to see him be flexible in times where he needs to be. We need a plan, which I'll get onto next, but don't be afraid to deviate from it slightly if it's not going right. And that's something that's really hurt Erik ten Hag. And then stick him with players who have been massively underperforming. There is an element of loyalty that he has to give, but the consistency of players, you know, their time in the starting lineup should be earned. You can't just be rolling out players just because they've got a good reputation or you're quite loyal to them. No, there needs to be sort of real hunger in the team, a real eagerness in the team to know and understand that you need to perform well to keep your shirt. So that flexibility and stubbornness, I think, is one. 4th, I'm going to say, I'm actually going to go to style of play. It's going to kind of contradict what I just said, but you guys get what I mean. His style of play, he actually must work on it now. Like, he has to he has to find a way now to start getting his principles across and use, you know, his coaching staff now that's going to look different to deliver that. He really, really has to, because, you know, he's been saying it for a long while, and the biggest buy-in that's going to help us get results on a consistent basis is our style of play. And if it isn't developed upon, if we do get Matthijs de Ligt, which it looks like we will, he can play ball. You've got Martinez who can play ball, and obviously you've got Onana who wants to play out from the back, and Dallow's technically sound enough to do that as well. There's no excuses. There really, really is no excuses. So style of play absolutely must be worked on, and we must be seeing it. And then I'm going to say left back, back to the player. Last one. He's not going to, but we have to get one. I don't think Luke Shaw's not going to be the starting left back. I still think it'll be Luke Shaw. I think we will get a left back, but for me, I think we just need to go forward in that left back position. Luke Shaw with his injuries, look, hopefully he starts today for England. I don't know if he will. Apparently he's back fit and can start. This is like his pre-season. But we've been here so many times with Luke, so many times where we're just begging for that consistent run where he's just not injured, and it just doesn't happen. And the same thing will happen again. And then with Malacia, who, you know, is going to be fit after pre-season, but after such a long injury, and you know, he's still not the one. You know, he's not even that young. I think he's like 25. Everyone thinks he's like 19, 20. He's not. But he's not it. He's a good cover, decent player, but he's not it. I think we need big surgery in that left-hand side. Again, I want a proper thoroughbred left fullback who's just up and down at it, technically sound. You know, look what, I know he got injured, but look at Udogie. You know, look how good he is. Obviously, everyone wants a prime Robertson, but, you know, these are the levels set. These are the levels set. You need elite fullbacks, you know, or you need ones who know what they're doing and are reliable. So they're my 5 things. Let me know what you guys are saying. It's open to interpretation. There's probably 10, 15, 20 things that need doing, but I just thought I'd bring 5 things to you. That's my 5 things deep, basically, like how KG would, yeah? 5 things Ten Hag must do. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Join in the watch match view for the England game. Hopefully, Owen doesn't get to cuss Southgate and say, "See, I told you, incredible." Yeah? We're going through. England going through. Believe. Take care. Peace.